So the other day I was at work thinking about what else, Airsoft, and I started thinking about the boom that our hobby has had in the last 5 years or so. And I started to think about, well, what caused it? Well, that's pretty obvious. It was the internet. Between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, especially YouTube, they have all been instrumental in the growth that we've seen in Airsoft. A whole lot more people are starting to see Airsoft, get interested in it, and try it. However, then my cynical side kicked in, and I thought, BB Warrior, is this a good thing? Is all this attention in the flood of players a good thing overall for our hobby? So that's what I want to talk about in today's video. I want to talk about, has the recent influx of players and attention to our hobby overall been a good thing? And that will be the topic of today's video. What's up, guys? My name is Lane and welcome to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsofting field. And if you enjoy videos like this, if you enjoy our discussions like this video or our honest and independent reviews, would love it if you joined our community, if you haven't already, by hitting the subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, make sure to hit that bell icon next to it. It only takes a second, and to make sure that you're updated when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. We will be doing a Q&A very soon, so if you want to get your question featured, leave a comment down below or message me on either Facebook or Instagram. I'll have links to those down in the description below, as well as in the end card of this video. So a little bit of background about me and when I started Airsoft, because when I started Airsofting, things were a whole lot different than they were now. So I started playing Airsoft right around the time that online forums were starting to die, like, your Airsoft Society and things like that. And you're starting to see a whole lot more activity on Facebook and YouTube. So this was back in the day when Jet and Airsoftology had small channels and Novrich wasn't even a thing, which is kind of crazy to think about today. So back then, getting into Airsoft wasn't as easy as it is today. Back in my day, you either spent under $200 and got a pretty subpar gun, or you spent $300, $400, maybe even $500 and you got a good gun. You got what would be today that lower 300 range, and we'll talk about the accessibility of buying Airsoft in a minute. But back in my day, there wasn't really any guns between that $200 to $300 range. And that discouraged a lot of people, I feel, from getting into the game. It was more expensive to get into Airsoft than it is today. So there are people even before me that it was much more expensive to get into Airsoft. Back when it was either you bought Tokyo Marui or you bought Classic Army, when those were your only two options, and as time progressed, we got more and more brands who were ripping off the Tokyo Marui system, it became more accessible. But I feel like one of the biggest disadvantages that we've seen with the recent growth in Airsoft is because it's easier to get into Airsoft, it's easier to get out of it as well, and that couples as well into Facebook. So, I mean, just this week, I sold 2 guns to people who live more than 500 miles away from me. That never could have happened back then. It was a whole lot harder. I know that like Airsoft Society did have classifieds, but you didn't see that, and people who were getting into Airsoft were more committed to it because there was more of a monetary investment in it. You weren't spending $300 or $250 and good to go. You were spending hundreds more to get into Airsoft for the same level of performance. So people, I personally feel, were more committed to the game, as people that were really enthusiastic about it and really wanted to see it grow, which today are some of the people that help continue grow our sport and our hobby. But I feel like now it's easier to get in and out of Airsoft, and that's making a lot of players really get out in like a year or two. However, the overall influx of players has been a good thing because there are people buying more guns, going to more fields, and things like that. So now we do have that $200 range. It's so much more accessible to get into Airsoft today than it was back then. I mean, it was harder, just generally harder to get into Airsoft. I mean, I was playing against JGs and Simas, which were good guns at the time. And all of that I had was a see-through G3 that I bought at a sporting goods store. So needless to say, I wanted to get that good Airsoft gun as soon as possible. So as time has progressed, it's gotten cheaper and cheaper to get better equipment in Airsoft, where you can get a pretty good Airsoft gun for, $250 to $330. You can get like a Crytek Alpha. If I could have had a gun that good when I started Airsoft for that price range, I would have started this game a whole lot sooner. I would have gotten into it so much more if I could have gotten something that good for that price. Because back then you had the Simas, the S systems, the combat machines were starting to become a thing, like a year or two after I got into Airsoft. It was just a different, odd time compared to today. So another thing that didn't exist back then is there wasn't that much media about Airsoft. You had like the more traditional styles of media where you had people reporting online, or you had like the Airsoft magazines. But now anyone can make content. I'm making content about Airsoft right now in my mom's basement. So anyone who has a camera, which every phone has a camera now, can make airsofting content. So I feel like that is also a disadvantage because a lot of videos aren't very good for the future of Airsoft. And I'm talking about cheater videos and fight videos and things like that. So full disclosure, I do not like cheater videos. Even if you are broad as daylight shooting that guy and he's not calling his hits, the fact that you felt compelled to publicly shame him and put it on the internet, it's childish. We are playing a game. This is not for money. This is not for fame. I mean, if you look cool in front of your friends who don't have girlfriends, is why they're airsofters, well, that's cool. Good for you. But I think that it's just childish. And if you do catch someone cheating, let's first make sure that they are cheating. There have been plenty of times where I've thought that I'm hitting someone, I'm not. Or I've been on the other end where someone's like, I swear to God, BB Warrior, I hit you. I'm unsubscribing right now. They weren't hitting me. We're playing with inconsistent guns that shoot plastic BBs, which are also inconsistent. If you think every BB in that bottle of BBs that you bought is the same and the same weight, you are drastically wrong. So just keep that in mind. If you have a cheater video, I know we're getting off topic, I'm going to change the subject in a second. If you have a cheater video, don't post it online, don't try to shame them publicly. Show it to the field staff, show it to the owner or the manager, whatever, and be an adult about it. We're playing a game, guys. I think that the growth in online media has made Airsoft easier to find. So it was hard to find Airsoft fields back in the day. And while there certainly are more fields and stores than there were back then, there wasn't really a good resource to finding them. And over the last 5 years, you've seen a lot of websites that have added field locators right to their website. I mean, even places that they're technically their competition, you're seeing field locators. Like Airsplat had one. Oh, I forgot about Airsplat. Jesus Christ. Airsoft GI had one, I think. And they were pretty incomplete, and they varied a lot, and they missed a lot. And today we have great resources like Airsoft C3, where you can find, fields, stores, other teams if you're just looking for people to play with. And I feel like in the last 5 years or so, Airsoft has gotten more official and legit, for lack of a better word. There's a whole lot less backyard airsofting going on versus today, where you can go to a field and play with refs and buildings and insurance. But that's one of the biggest changes that I've noticed, is that besides just getting people into the game, once people have that I want to play Airsoft mentality, it's been easier for them to find other people. And Facebook has definitely helped with that as well. It's helped with the purchasing of equipment as well, but I just think that it's great. Now, I have said a lot of negatives in this video, and this is an opinion video. If you guys haven't figured that out yet, this is just my opinions. If you didn't disagree with me on at least something in this video, I'm genuinely surprised. But I think that overall, while there are some negatives, and there are some pretty glaring negatives, like in my case, cheater videos, I really don't like them, I think it's overall been fantastic for our game. While there are a lot of people getting out of Airsoft, there are more people getting in and staying into Airsoft. And because of people who are posting their footage from games, more people are seeing that. They're like, oh, that's so cool. I want to play Airsoft. And they're getting into it. And that makes me so happy. I love this game. I love this hobby. I am a nerd. I'm Airsoft geek, whatever you want to call me. I mean, of course I'm a loser. I'm making videos on YouTube. But hear me out. I love Airsoft. And the fact that Airsoft is growing and expanding and more people are getting into the game. I mean, I'm seeing fathers and sons playing Airsoft and friends playing together, and I'm making friends personally playing Airsoft. It makes me really happy. And I know I'm kind of sounding sappy, but it does. It makes me happy that our sport, or hobby, I should say, is growing and more people are getting into it. And because people are posting footage, more people are trying new things. We're starting to see more people try out like Speed QB or Milsim games like AMS or Milsim West because of the coverage that they get from online videos. So I couldn't be happier with Airsoft. I think that there are some things that have to change and there are some issues, but that's everything in life. Nothing's perfect. So I want to know from you guys, do you think that this has been overall good for Airsoft, or do you think that it's been bad for Airsoft? Like I said, I overall think it's been a good thing. And if you think it's been a bad thing, make sure to give me some examples. Like, what do you think is the worst thing that has come out of the boom of online media and Airsoft coming together? Make sure to let me know down in those comments below. I think this will be a really fun discussion for us to have, and really take a look at what makes Airsoft tick, which is the point of a lot of these discussions that I do here on the channel. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, if this was your first time here, I'd love to have you join our community by hitting that subscribe button down below. And while you're at it, again, just make sure to hit that bell icon next to it, even if you're already subscribed, so that you get updates either by text or email when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. Again, one more time, we're going to be doing a Q&A soon. So I love answering your guys' questions. I don't do these too often. I'm trying to keep them like an every once in a while video. Submit your questions either down below in the comments or by sending me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Links to those are down in the description and the end card as always. But this has been Lane from the BB Warrior, talking about both the good and the bad that YouTube, Facebook, and social media in general have done for Airsoft, and if it's been a good thing. And I will talk to you all next time.